to do that. There's no way to know whether you should hug somebody or hit somebody. Right? That's a feeling. That comes up. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, there's no, I'm going to hug this person because they are smiling and I haven't seen them in a long time and they miss me as much as I miss them. There's none of this that goes on. There's just a bing and then the act. Very precise, very on point, right there, spontaneous, didn't need to be built up, just happened. Right? So, but every time the mind enacts, it causes the physical body to move and manifest what its parameters are, what its agenda is. It does not ever consider will be. So the larger part of you, the more informed part of you, is neglected. That's why no one's informed. That's why nobody knows. They're neglecting the knower. And they're depending on the thinker. You're not the mind. You have one. Yeah? But you're not it. And all of its content, you're not that either. You're none of that. You are what is apparent. You are what is actual. Right? And in actuality, are we not what looks out of our eyes? We can prove this. We can prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt. Quite easily. Okay? You're alive, right? And there's animation there. Right? There's a voice there. Right? There's cognizance there.
Right.
No, there's awareness. There's consciousness there. All right. Bam! There's no talk. There's no...
Right.
The animation is
Gone.
gone. No, what happens to that animation? That is you. Because it really has to be you then, doesn't it?
Right.
Right? You're not this. You're what's looking at it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's like you're not your car. You're just driving the damn thing. Same. It's just that simple. Same. So, when we talk about being ourselves, you know, when anybody says, I just want to be myself, I'm really speaking from some kind of acknowledgement of this awareness, this animation. That's what you're speaking. They're not speaking about the body. They're not speaking about its lot in life. They're speaking about the total being. Not just the mind and its compartmentalization, not in the ego that's got a piece of chalk and just drawing lines wherever it can, always boxes itself in and does this. Oh, I'm so stupid. Right? And then it goes crazy and annihilates one of those barriers and does it again. Constantly drawing a circle around itself and then, you know, building this giant wall that blocks it in. Because it you know, when we're freed up a little bit, we move. Not move. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not limited to this. We move here. Hanging out with Carlos, in the morning I'd get up, be this normal, retarded person. Don't. Unaware, you know. The body is very, very prevalent in my thoughts and everything else. And we'd sit down to start, and it was like grabbing the gear shift. And that's what it would feel like, right? And what would happen would be like the ego would essentially shatter. It would just be the being, right? And in that state, the mind functioned perfectly. It was never telling you anything. It was only storing what the being considered to be important. You see what I'm saying? It was storing the information pertinent to the being itself, to the real self. Right? That the ego is abstract. It's an abstract self. We create. It's a product. Right? You are in a market environment. There's an economy. The whole thing is. Everything about our lives is the market. So in order to engage in business, there has to be someone in us that gauges that value. Right? There it is. There's the reason to create it in the first place. So you can play in the market. Right? Now if society, you know, to me I think they could make it a little more fair. to everybody. Just one simple way. You know, when the kid is born, right? Soon he just basically gets left alone, taken care of. But left alone. None of this programming crap. None of this telling the kid things over and over and over and over again until they take them as true. No lies, none of this. And then when they get to the age where they can actually comprehend what could be real and actual and what might be complete fabrication, give them all the information about the two ways. This is the way to the market. And here you will have to create a way to not suffer in it. And you'll have no information about anything else. And then there's this other way, where you'll take care of your needs. And for you, it will be about resource. Not about cash. It'll be about real value. Cash has no value. The resources it gets to. Right? You tell the kid that, and it's totally up to you. There will be none of these safety nets for you. And let them choose. Instead of driving them into it, because we do it. Why are you a Catholic? Because I'm a Catholic. What kind of crap is that? That is crap, because that's just programming. That's all it is. You didn't give that kid a fair chance. So, even if he does follow it, you don't know that it's genuine. He knows nothing else. You know what I mean? It's like there's just going to be genuine understanding of that. So you wait until they're older, and then you say, this is this. But don't lie. This is this, and that is that, and here's your choices. That's what I'm doing with my children. Saying, okay, this is what's out there. They were going from small schools, small communities, into a yuppie village, basically, to go to school with hundreds of kids. And I told them, I said, we can do homeschooling. I said, but if you're going to go to that school, because I don't want them to not be socialized. Right. They need to get along in the world, right? So they have to be somewhat exposed to that, to the whole element of what goes on in schools, which is just insane. Right. They're teaching kids competition. Competition turns to violence. Sorry, just us. That's why boxing matches and hockey games and football games, the people watching it turn to violence. Sure. Yeah, it's like, wow, how crazy is that? Right? So there's no parameters in that. And so I told them, I said, well, this is what you'll encounter. You need to understand, you can either jump on their bandwagon and lose yourself, or you can be you and just remain strong in that. Because it's tough, it's going to be tough. They have never been subjected to that. Oh, yeah. They started at 12, not 5, 12. So they're stepping into it right there. And, I would have to say both of them handled it extremely well. There's been a little bit of, this person, a little bit of arguing on the phone, but there has not been this overbearing emotional scarring going on. Right? Which it happens to a lot of children. It happens to a lot of children because their parents have programmed them to be as unaware as they are. Which is, to me, is just a shame. It's a shame. It should not be happening. Right? So, it's like now we're in this state in America where everyone's calling for change. They understand that this is bigger than America. This is bigger than the world. This is bigger than any individual in it. All of them. That change is us. Not us as a group. Individually. Some will, some won't. But I have found that as you start to think clearly, right? You remove that muck, and you begin to think clearly, what ends up happening is you naturally gravitate towards inventory. You start taking stock of you, right? First it's the mind, right? You see it's cluttered, right? And you try to work there. Man, that's not going to work. It'll work for a while. Give you ideas, give you, an impetus in a direction. That's it. Because